Family, friends, and well-wishers, Southern Methodist University is pleased to present the 2023 December candidates for graduation. Leading off today's procession is Chief Marshal Thomas Osang. He is carrying the Bradley Kent Carter baton and will summon the candidates to begin our commencement ceremony. Marching in the place of honor at the beginning of the procession are the 2023 doctoral candidates. Please join me with your applause in welcoming the December 2023 candidates. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting representatives of the faculties of Southern Methodist University, led by Daniel Reynolds, the faculty marshal. Please rise and join me with your applause in welcoming the faculty. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the platform party for today's celebration and the president of SMU, R. Gerald Turner. The platform party is led by the student representative to the SMU Board of Trustees, Abigail Herrera, carrying the SMU banner. The Howard Lantern is carried today by Alex Alarcon, president of the student body. And preceding President Turner is SMU's ceremonial mace, carried by Michael Harris, president of the SMU Faculty Senate. Please remain standing and join me with your applause in welcoming the platform party.
Good morning. I'm Elizabeth Laboa, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs of Southern Methodist University. It is my privilege to welcome you to the university's December commencement. Thank you, Imperial Brass, for that wonderful processional music. Will the candidates please remain standing? And the audience, if you're not risen already, rise for the invocation given by Chaplain and Minister to the University, Lisa Garvin. Following the invocation, please remain standing for our national anthem, led by Sarah Navy, 2023 candidate for a Bachelor's in Music Education.
Congratulations, graduates and your families. Please join me in a moment of prayer. New every day is your love, great God of light, and all day long you are working for good in the world. This morning, generous God, we give thanks as we gather for the memories made in a few short years on the hilltop. We give thanks for faculty, staff, and administrators who inspired within these graduates new discoveries of themselves and the world. We give thanks for families whose constant love, often across many miles, is a source of motivation and strength. And we give thanks for friends who shared these years with us, those who pushed us to live into our fullest potential, and those who insisted that we have a little fun along the way. By your mercy and through your grace, these graduates are equipped and empowered to be world changers. O God, our help in ages past, our hope for years to come, as these graduates leave the hilltop, grant that we may all join our hands together to build peace throughout the world, that we may all offer our minds to ensure justice in our communities, and that we would all offer our hearts to extend compassion to everyone we meet. These things we pray with gratitude, faith, and hope. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the
Thank you, Chaplain Garvin and Miss Navy. Please be seated. I want to welcome all our graduates and their families and friends to commencement, a celebration of the work and success of the graduates gathered here this morning. I wish to also acknowledge our guests watching the simulcast of this ceremony across the globe. One of the great pleasures in being a part of this university community is the joy we take in the success of our graduates. All of us, trustees, students, faculty, staff, and administrators, are part of an exciting mission to strive for research and creative impact, for discovery and new knowledge, and for enterprising service to society. Our collective efforts culminate in the intellectual, emotional, and spiritual growth of our graduates. We wish our graduates the very best in the years ahead. We know that you will always be a member of the extraordinarily welcoming and close-knit SMU community, and we will be a part of you. At this time, I wish to recognize members of the SMU Board of Trustees. Please hold your applause until all platform party members have been presented. Chair, David Miller. Jennifer Altabeth. Bill Armstrong. Brad Brookshire. Antonio Garza. David Haley. President of the SMU Faculty Senate, Michael Harris. Fred Hagee. Student Trustee, Abigail Herrera. David Huntley, Bobby Lyle, Connie O'Neill, Jean Phillips, Bruce Robson, and Chair of the SMU Alumni Board, Philip Wise. Please join me in thanking these trustees and all university trustees for their service. Please be seated. Board Chair David Miller will now congratulate all of you graduating today.
Good morning. On behalf of the SMU Board of Trustees, it's my distinct honor to congratulate you on this remarkable achievement. I can assure you very few days in your life will be bigger than this one. You've accomplished something that is both highly challenging and rewarding, and I hope this moment gives you confidence to boldly move forward as you enter this next exciting chapter of your life. It certainly did for me, not once but twice. I earned 2 degrees here in the 1970s, and I vividly remember the thrill of walking across the stage as the President of the University handed me my diplomas. I also had the thrill of running up and down this court a few times over a 4-year time period that I was here. I'm most grateful to be back here today to help you celebrate your success. As you've been focusing on finishing your studies and degree requirements, our trustees have been diligently working in the background on your behalf to further strengthen SMU's position as one of the world's leading universities. Our overarching goal is to continue increasing SMU's academic standing, which in turn will enhance the value of your degree and help you on your road to success. And make no mistake, when you succeed, SMU succeeds. And this university has a lot of success for you to build upon. Today, as a graduate, you're a part of a family of nearly 68,000 alumni in the DFW area and more than 135,000 alumni worldwide. Our graduates create far-reaching ripples as business leaders and public servants, pioneers and philanthropists, entrepreneurs and entertainers. And they're giving back to the future generations of Mustangs by generously providing support for scholarships and the incredible facilities that make up this university. I want to leave you with a suggestion that has served me well through the years. Treat everyone you encounter with the utmost respect and dignity, and consistently practice being kind and compassionate. In doing so, you'll not only enrich the lives of others, but yours as well. It's a great time to be an SMU Mustang. The excitement and sense of pride around this campus and across the entire SMU community has never been higher. Once again, congratulations to each and every one of you, and always remember, you're a Mustang for life. Pony up.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. There are faculty here with us today representing their respective schools or serving as ceremony marshals. For over a century, the SMU faculty has taught, mentored, and inspired generations of students, shaping SMU into a premier research and teaching university with global impact. I now ask SMU's distinguished faculty to please stand and be recognized. Thank you, faculty colleagues. I will now introduce other members of the platform party and special guests. Please hold your applause until all have been presented. Casey Mejia, Vice President for Student Affairs. Harold Stanley, Vice President for Executive Affairs. Paul Ward, Vice President for Legal Affairs and Government Relations, General Counsel, and Secretary to the Board of Trustees. Gary Brubaker, Director of SMU Guildhall. Thomas DiPiero, Elizabeth Martin Armstrong Dean of Dedman College of Humanities and Sciences. Samuel Holland, Alger H. Meadows Dean of Meadows School of the Arts. Nader Jalili, Mary and Richard Templeton Dean of the Bobby B. Lyle School of Engineering. Holly Jeffcoat, Dean of SMU Libraries. Stephanie Knight, Leon Simmons Dean of Annette Caldwell Simmons School of Education and Human Development. Michael McKee, Dean ad interim of Perkins School of Theology. Matthew Myers, Dean of Edwin L. Cox School of Business, Tolleson Chair in Business Leadership, and David B. Miller Endowed Professor. Jason Nance, Judge James Noel Dean of Dedman School of Law. Robin Poston, Dean of the Moody School of Graduate and Advanced Studies. And Melinda Sutton, Associate Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students. Alex Alarcon, Student Body President. Joe Kabilka, Marshall Lecter and Associate Professor and Chair of Political Science. Mary Beth Kunze, Platform Marshal and Associate Professor of Management. Bobby Lothringer, University Registrar. Joe Papari, Director of Enrollment Services for Student Systems and Technology, and Christopher Ham, President of the SMU Staff Association. Please join me in welcoming all of these guests. Mr. Alex Alarcon, President of the Student Body, and Professor Michael Harris, President of the Faculty Senate, will now offer their remarks.
Good morning, everybody. Yesterday, at the Rotunda Recessional, we talked about courage and why that best describes us, the students. I believe that it is a learned quality. I learned it from my family members, friends, and leaders I admire. My dad always told me, never forget where you came from. A statement that I initially believed to be obvious and straightforward gained more significance throughout the years. When I didn't want to wake up to go to class, a meeting, or my job, I remember the sacrifices my family has made for me to be here. The countless hours of work, encouragement, and prayers my family supported me with so that I could have the opportunities I now have. In other words, I've come so far because of their courage. At SMU, I was once going through a tribulation when a friend and mentor who has not graduated reminded me that in life, you have two options, to be a critic or a creator. Would I be a cynic or optimistically aspire to pour into those around me? To further his point, he sent me a quote by none other than President Teddy Roosevelt. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming. But who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who knew neither victory nor defeat. So, attempt to achieve your goals. Fight for the causes you believe in. And whether you win or you lose, at least you will be living a life worth living. And remember, the courage that got you here and those who passed it on to you, so that you may encourage someone else in the future that can shape the world. Congratulations to you all. Pony up.
On behalf of my faculty colleagues, congratulations, you've made it. Whether with a 4.0 or a 2.0, you are now a graduate of one of the top universities, not just in the United States, but in the world. Today, we celebrate your academic accomplishments here at SMU and the start of a new journey of lifelong learning. Because I'm a professor, I can't help but leave you with one last lesson, and yes, this one has a bit of homework, but don't worry, this time you get to determine your grade. The lesson is this: with the privilege of being a university graduate comes the responsibility to help our global society. All of you are unique individuals with valuable skills and talents to offer. To put it simply, you are needed. The world needs you. We need leaders that lead with empathy, critical thinkers that implement change, creative problem solvers that are catalysts for new ideas. Over the past few years, you have invested incredible amounts of time sharpening your understanding of the world, powered by the liberal arts and professional training. You have developed new skills and knowledge. Now, equipped with this education, you've been entrusted with the task to contribute to your communities. Allow your academic accomplishments to empower you and take opportunities to improve the world around you. Eventually, each of you will need to decide how to define success. How will you know when you've made it? I encourage you to measure your success by the impact you have on the lives of those around you. Your ability to uplift and advocate for others using your specific gifts will leave a lasting change that will surpass any satisfaction from a number in a bank account. Whether you leave here today with your bachelor's degree, professional or graduate degree, or your doctorate, take with you a commitment to use your education for purpose. Enjoy the reward of your hard work and be proud of what you've accomplished. We all wait with anticipation to see what you'll do next. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alarcón and Professor Harris. And now it's my pleasure to introduce the president of SMU, Dr. R. Gerald Turner.
Thank you, Provost Laboa, and I want to join those who've preceded me in welcoming all of you to this most auspicious occasion. Usually in December, we have a larger percentage of people who get their master's degrees in engineering or education or business or whatever. And so as a result, we have a little different mix in the graduates that occur and also in the people who are attending. But we're delighted to have all of you here. All of you that are parents, would you please stand and let's give our students a chance to thank you. Parents. All right, would you be joined by grandparents? Grandparents, thank you for being here. All right, children or in-laws. The in-laws are the most surprised people to be here. But all other family members, would you now join those that have stood? All right, thank you. We'll have a chance to salute them individually very soon. But this occasion is more than just a ceremony. It really symbolizes a milestone in the lives of our outstanding graduates, poised to embrace the world filled with challenges and opportunities, or to advance further in their jobs and professions as they get master's and doctoral degrees. Thank you for maintaining the civility of the campus during a very difficult semester. Worldwide, it's been very difficult, but SMU has maintained the position that we believe in free speech, we believe in opportunities for others to disagree with us, and we do it peacefully. Thank you, students, for doing that. In these rapidly evolving times, our core values, those values have proven to be extremely important during times like this. They are excellence, integrity, intellectual freedom, open dialogue, diversity, and inclusion. These have been guideposts for your time here, and hopefully it will be for those that you leave in charge of the university. Our commencement speaker today, Antonio Garza, embodies these qualities through a distinguished career that by being involved in groundbreaking achievements in politics, law, and diplomacy. He was elected Cameron County Judge in 1988 and was then the youngest countywide office holder in South Texas. His career also includes roles as Texas Secretary of State, head of the Texas Railroad Commission, and the U.S. Ambassador to Mexico under President George W. Bush. During his tenure as ambassador, Mr. Garza played a pivotal role in strengthening U.S.-Mexico relationships. He actively contributed to post-September 11 agreements that address critical issues such as security, governance, and law enforcement. His impactful efforts were recognized with the Mexican government's highest honor for a foreign national, the Aztec Eagle. Having resided in both Mexico City and Texas, he's widely regarded as one of the foremost experts in the cultural, political, business, and geographical dynamics between the United States and Mexico. In his capacity as counselor at White & Case, a prestigious law firm, Ambassador Garza serves as a director for several publicly and privately held companies, offering strategic advice to CEOs, investors, and entrepreneurs. He's also been a great friend of his alma mater, SMU. He's a graduate of the Dedman School of Law, has previously been recognized as one of our distinguished alumni, and currently serves on the university's Board of Trustees, chairing the Legal Affairs Committee. Our camaraderie extends beyond these events in that he and I both vividly recall sitting by each other in a very cold wind and slight drizzle at the inauguration parade for George W. Bush's first term because we were waiting for Peruna to show up. And Peruna was toward the end of the parade. And anybody that'll sit by me in 10-degree weather in the drizzle waiting for Peruna is a friend of mine. Our speaker, Ambassador Antonio Garza.
Oh boy. Lord, we thank you for this glorious day and your presence on this joyous occasion. And Gerald, thank you for that introduction. I do remember that cold day. And I also recall a day in June of 1995 when the sun shone bright in Dallas and you became president of SMU. And every day since, the Mustang family has been grateful for your leadership and for what you and Gail have meant to the university. And thank you to the chairman of our Board of Trustees, David Miller. The Big I put the Atlantic Coast Conference in his sight and never wavered, never relented. 50 years ago on this very floor, you couldn't out-hustle David, and as our chairman, that's still the case. And to the faculty, staff, distinguished guests, and proud family, and especially the Southern Methodist University class of 2023, thank you for having me. I remember the day I graduated, how I felt and how proud my dad was. But I don't remember who spoke, and I have no illusions you'll remember me. I don't have all the answers to life after graduation, although there were times when I thought I knew it all, but life had a way of correcting me. My favorite reminder occurred shortly after graduating from SMU School of Law in 1983. I was tutoring a South Texas high school student named Raul. Raul needed help preparing for his high school exit exam, and I was a volunteer in an at-risk program. Raul and I worked together for weeks, all in anticipation of his big test. On the Monday after the exam, I caught up with Raul and asked how he'd done. It took him a few moments to find the right words, and he looked at me, shrugged, and said, "Let me put it this way, sir. You're not as smart as you think you are." It was a humbling experience, one I'll never forget. But you, SMU graduates of 2023, have much less reason to be humble. You leave SMU with memories of the Boulevard, lighting ceremonies, late-night study sessions, the Commons experience, and a conference championship. But, yeah. But most of all, you leave here knowing this. You are the graduating class of 2023, and by every benchmark, you are considered the strongest class to ever graduate from SMU. All of you excelled. Well, all of you except for, Gerald, was it 7 or 9? And you know who you are. Each of you came here to become a better version of yourself, to experience the transformative power of education. And education is a powerful force. I know. I've seen that in my own life. My grandparents came to Texas from Mexico in the early 1900s, and my dad grew up along the border during the Depression in the 1930s. After high school, he served abroad in World War II, returned to South Texas, and did what he said being a tech sergeant in the Army had fully prepared him to do. He worked hard, he pumped gas, he wiped windshields, and became the proud owner of a 2-pump filling station. Dad took care of his family and did what he felt was the right thing, his duty. And he did that every single day. But Mom, no sitting around the house for her. When I was 8 or 9 years old, she decided to go back to school. In addition to being that cool mom that made sure we got to swim practice and Little League games, let us grow our hair long and tie-dyed our t-shirts, she also questioned the Vietnam War, talked about civil rights, and decided that she was going to get a degree. And that meant I'd be spending time at our local college in the kids section of the library while she went to class. And while I learned to love the library, I wasn't so sure about college. You see, it seemed like every few months or so, Mom would come down with the flu, lose her hair, and then bounce back. In July of 1972, I turned 13, and our college president asked my dad if me and my little brother couldn't visit Mom in the hospital so he could present her something, a degree. 1 month later, she was gone, cancer. But that education transformed my mother into my hero and the most powerful example a young boy could possibly have. Each of you has had your battles, large and small. Over the course of the last several years, your generation has had to reckon with serious questions about race and justice. You've succeeded in the face of a pandemic, economic collapse, and live in a world of radical uncertainty. In the process, you have learned one of life's most profound lessons, and that is, life is not easy, and really big challenges are seldom confronted alone. You are the strivers and survivors. You succeeded because you believed in yourselves and others believed in you. Thank your parents for their love. You made the grades. They likely helped with the bills. And today, Mom's tearing up thinking about how quickly this day came, and Dad's praying to God you found a job and aren't moving back home. As I was preparing today's remarks, I couldn't help but returning to what a challenging time we're living in. The Middle East, Ukraine, China, a deeply polarized country, and technological advances a force for both good and evil. I honestly thought, come on, it's a day to celebrate. And then I realized I can't get up here and not acknowledge those very stubborn, harsh realities. I was stuck, so I called a young friend, a college professor in her 30s. And in the course of our conversation, she said to me, "Tony, don't forget how smart they are, what they've been through, and that they're adults. So whatever you do, don't talk about finding your passion, dreaming big, yada, yada. They've heard all that." Then she paused and said, "Boomer, maybe you can start by apologizing for leaving such a mess." Yes, it's messy out there. Each day, some major figure in academia, diplomacy, or business is telling us that the world is on fire, and that this is the worst geopolitical situation we've faced since that period between World Wars I and II, and that our own country is too divided to lead, and that our democracy is at a crossroads. That kind of talk can leave one anxious and wondering what next. So while I'm not going to apologize, I want to try to give you some perspective, some advice, and even some reason for optimism. Some perspective. At the start of the last century, between 1901 and 1925, a generation of Americans were born. You may have heard your parents or grandparents talk about them. A group of Americans that came to be known as the greatest generation. They came of age in the wake of the pandemic of 1918, lived through the Great Depression of the 1930s, and fought off the evil forces of fascism and the Nazis in the 1940s. And then they returned home to make massive contributions in medicine, science, and business, and provided the world's leadership. It was a generation that had withstood adversity and built a better world because of it. You too were born near the beginning of a century, have faced adversity, and enter a world of conflict. History now calls on you to be the leading edge of the greatest generation of this century. Yes, I know, a daunting call, but now is the time to really believe what you've been hearing here at SMU when we say world changers shaped here. At every desk at which I've sat for the last 40 years, I've scrawled countless aphorisms concerning beliefs, to-dos, and dealing with others. I've pirated, plagiarized, paraphrased, and distilled them into my governing principles, which have served me well, regardless of what life or the world threw at me. They have to do with convictions, character, and community. I'd like to share 3 of them with you today. In 1983, I went back to South Texas, practiced a little law, but spent most of my time coaching, serving on the local Indigent and Migrant Health Care Board, and, while not always successfully, mentoring at-risk kids. In 1988, I decided to run for county judge. The fact that I was a 27-year-old Republican in a county dominated by the other party for over a century should have deterred me. But it didn't, and somehow I was elected, and my life took on a new direction. It was during that campaign that I met a really amazing woman, a librarian and SMU graduate, who said I should meet her husband, George. Little did I know that in 1988, Laura's husband would be at my swearing in, and 6 years later, he'd be the governor of Texas and ask me to be his Secretary of State. And in 2002, President George W. Bush would ask me to serve as the U.S. Ambassador to Mexico. It was also around that time that I realized that my view of the world was starting to come into focus. And I wrote on my desk pad, "Free people, free markets, America's role in the world." That really summed up how I felt, my convictions. Here at SMU, you've been challenged to think. How do you feel about freedom versus oppression, the state of our democracy, nativism and immigration, our issues of race, gender, and climate? Or how about Tay and Trav? Or whether Riz is really a word? How will you decide where your convictions lie? Here are some thoughts. First, in all things, seek the truth. The pursuit of the truth is what distinguishes people of integrity from the corrupt. But getting to the truth won't always be easy. Jonathan Swift once said, "A lie will fly around the whole world while the truth is getting its boots on." And that was 300 years before the internet, social media, and artificial intelligence. Make the pursuit of the truth your North Star. If you've learned nothing else but to think critically at SMU, that is the most important skill with which you leave. Second, stress test how you feel about things. Seek out people with whom you disagree. Be both humble and curious with these people. Explore their beliefs and your own. Don't ever forget, you can feel strongly and still be civil. And you just might change someone's mind or your own. And third, whether it be the soft murmurings of conscience or the loud clanging of inspiration, learn to listen to yourself, to trust your judgment, to be guided by what you hear that inner voice tell you and you know to be right. Free peoples, free markets, and America's role in the world help frame my convictions, my view of the world. Think hard about yours. On character. People like to toss around the word authenticity, but I really think that's just another way of saying that someone has a character to live their convictions and the strength to do so even when it's not easy or popular. But what is character? Don't lie, cheat, or steal seems like a good place to start. And Marcus Aurelius put it simply by writing, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Or how about characters doing right when no one is watching? Those all seem like pretty good guideposts, but how do you go about building that character muscle? Well, I reduced it to do right, enjoy, repeat. Sometime around 2000, I sensed my dad was starting to slow down. So I'd try and get back to the border from Austin to see him from time to time. One afternoon we were talking, and after a couple of drinks and some stories about the cowboy teams of the 70s and 80s, I knew that I wanted him to know that I realized his life had been tough and that I loved him. And what I felt was the right moment, I said, Dad, I don't know how you managed after Mom died. Before I could get any more out, he smiled and said, what choice did I have? And then chuckled, and I'm proud of you boys. In that instant, I realized that for 80 years, Dad had simply gotten up every day and done what he thought was the right thing, his duty. So much so that even in the toughest of times, he saw doing the right thing as the only choice he had. And that made him happy, gave him satisfaction. To me, that's character. Do right, enjoy, repeat. And when you face the really tough times in your life, your character muscle will be plenty strong for you. And lastly, community. Try to be gentle, generous, and grateful. Life will test you in ways you cannot imagine, but one of the ways it will test you over and over is in how you treat others who don't look like you, talk like you, or have had the same opportunities as you. So treat people with dignity and respect. Our country is all the proof we need to know that there's strength in our differences. America's greatness wasn't built on the sweat of one race, religion, or culture. Don't ever lose sight of that as you deal with others. And in those relationships that mean the most to you, don't ever be afraid to say, I love you, thanks, or I'm sorry. Be gentle, generous, and grateful. Am I optimistic about the future? You bet I am. Not only because I'm looking out at the class of 2023, but because I know America is a great and resilient country. We live in a country that had to fight its way into being, wedded to a Declaration of Independence and Constitution that is still tested daily. Turned on itself in a civil war and emerged a more perfect union, but still haunted by issues of race and inequality. Fought 2 world wars, put a man on the moon, and saw the end of a Cold War, yet looks out today at a world again brought to the battlefield by a rogue nation and brutal terrorists, and has a rival in China that has a very different view of the future. Yes, history has a way of repeating itself because we're human. And within each of us flickers both frailty and the divine. But throughout the history of our country, the generation that found their world adrift, much as you will, knew that making it better was their charge to keep, what history demanded, and then called upon the very best of their own humanity to burn brightly. It's in your DNA. Remember, world changers shaped here. I'll close simply and on a very different note, perhaps whimsical, but I think fitting. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose, and you are the ones who will decide where to go. Yes, Dr. Seuss, and it's on my desk. It's now up to you. Godspeed and congratulations.
Thank you, Ambassador Garza, for such a thoughtful and inspiring address. We will now hear a special music selection, SMU Forever, performed by today's vocalist, Sarah Navy.
SMU, you will always be in my heart forever. Who's to say where my life may go? But deep inside I know I will feel the trees blanket over me, strolling back in time down the boulevard. I will taste the spring when the azaleas sing, how these memories bring joy inside my heart. SMU, you will always be in my heart forever. I will taste the spring when the azaleas sing. SMU, you're in my heart forever.
Thank you, Ms. Navy. In just a few moments, we will celebrate the graduation of our December candidates. To ensure each graduate is properly recognized and in consideration of their guests, we ask that you refrain from extended cheering when your graduate is announced. And of course, please don't use air horns or other loud noise-making devices. We do have a professional photographer who's been commissioned to take your candidate's picture. The candidates for doctoral degrees will now be presented. PhD degrees are awarded jointly by the candidate's home school and the Moody School of Graduate and Advanced Studies. Please rise and remain standing when your school is called. Dedman College of Humanities and Sciences. Bobby B. Lyle School of Engineering. Annette Caldwell Simmons, School of Education and Human Development. President Turner, These candidates, upon recommendation of the graduate faculties, are presented to you for the conferring of their degrees.
Thank you, Provost Laboa. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Southern Methodist University, and upon the recommendation of the graduate faculty and your completion of all requirements, I now confer upon you the appropriate doctoral degree with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. You may be seated. The candidates for the professional, master's degrees, diploma, and graduate certificates will now be presented. Please rise and remain standing when your school is called. Perkins School of Theology. Dedman School of Law. Dedman College of Humanities and Sciences. Meadows School of the Arts. Edwin L. Cox School of Business. Bobby B. Lyle School of Engineering. Annette Caldwell Simmons School of Education and Human Development. SMU Guildhall. Masters of Science in Data Science. President Turner, these candidates, upon recommendation of the graduate faculties, are presented to you for the conferring of their degrees.
Thank you, Provost Laboa. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Southern Methodist University, and upon the recommendation of the appropriate faculty, and your completion of all the requirements that are a part of your degree or certificate, I now confer upon you the appropriate degree, certificate, or other professional diploma with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. You may be seated. The candidates for the bachelor's degrees will now be presented. Please rise and remain standing when your school is called. Dedman College of Humanities and Sciences. Meadows School of the Arts. Edwin L. Cox School of Business. Bobby B. Lyle School of Engineering. Annette Caldwell Simmons School of Education and Human Development. President Turner, these candidates, upon recommendation of the undergraduate faculties, are presented to you for the conferring of their degrees.
Provost. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Southern Methodist University, I now confer upon you the appropriate undergraduate degree with our rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations to you. It is now appropriate to move your tassel from the right to the left and to turn your senior ring from facing you to facing outward, both symbolizing that you have graduated with a baccalaureate degree. Congratulations. And please be seated.
Thank you. You may be seated. And we will now begin with our doctoral graduates who will come to the platform to receive their hoods and diplomas. They are led by their faculty marshal, Professor Angelika Leskovskaya. The graduates will be announced by the Marshal Lector, Professor Joe Kobilka. Doctoral graduates will be hooded by their advisors, assisted by the dean of their school. Perkins and Dedman Law graduates will be hooded by their deans, then greeted by President Turner and myself.
Rebecca Napier Jameson. Hung Chow. Danielle Rebecca Ezar. This concludes the Dedman College Doctor of Philosophy degrees. We will now hood the Meadows School of the Arts candidate. Excuse me. That concluded the Meadows School of the Arts doctoral candidates. We will now hood the Lyle School of Engineering Doctor of Philosophy candidates. Abdul Salman Al-Nassar. Mohammed Karim Manshade. Bin Huang. Hao Zhang. Constantino Kalfas. Yanling Li. Scott McWilliams. Brian D. Rodriguez. Wang Yang. Rachel Nicole Becker. That concluded the Lyle School of Engineering Doctor of Philosophy degrees. We will now hood the candidates for the Simmons School of Education and Human Development. Bethany Bradley Edwards. Brooke Elizabeth Istas. Trina H. Knox. Claire Elise Trotter. Vincent E. Battles. Jamil Rashad Choice. Aaron O'Neill Crosby. Mary Margaret Carrillo. Anne Marie Dell. John Drew Dickens. Michael Croden Esquivel. Ryan Lee Holmes. Daniel Thomas Kistner. Joseph William Mazzola. Jennifer Ann McNabb. Fergal Joseph Purcell. Gay Marie West Vaughn. This concludes the Simmons Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Education, and Doctor of Liberal Studies degrees. We will now greet the Perkins School of Theology graduates. Emmanuel Edor Ascame. Jimmy D.C. Green. Brandon Lacey. Cletus Wayne Rogers. Deborah DeFrank Tips. Dario Vargas. Edna Faye York. That concludes the Perkins School of Theology graduates. We will now greet the Dedman Law School graduates. Van Liang Chung. Cecilia Gonzalez Cueto Fernandez. Erica Mellon. William C. Paltz. C. Pei Joao Win. C. Jung. That concludes the Dedman Law School graduates. We will now greet the Dedman College of Humanities and Science Master Degree graduates. Ryan Joseph Cochran. Delaney Grace Helgeson. Allison Renee King. Juzi Song. Nanjing Wang. Feifan Wu. Raja Yedagiri. Amanda Lee Calkins. We will now greet the Meadows School of the Arts graduates. Gregory Davis. Jackson William Ferris. Caitlin Rhea Teskey Gallman. Lauren Moss. Catherine Marie Rubush. Christina Marie Savo. Shelby Lynn Sturr. Brittany Austin Taylor. That concludes the Meadows School Master's Degree and Diploma graduates. We will now greet the Edwin L. Cox School of Business Master's Degree graduates. Leju Kurian Abraham. Naya Christian Bacon. Christopher William Baker. Winnie Balada. Eric Chapman Bain. Elisa Maria Bayasate. Dallas Corey Brown. Lauren Ashley Davis. Subin Chaco. Tamaris S. Conkleton. Deidre Michelle Conway. Lori Sue Cook. Charles Spencer Cooper. Ashley N. Curlin. Carrie Leigh Canine. Darrell Eugene Dalford. Adina Nate Ducre. Brett Michael Elliott. Lauren Brooke Faircloth. Kyle Watson Fitzpatrick. Kelly Ford. Jasmine Leandra Francis. Baltazar Garcia. Jessica Jane Garcia. Joseph Matthew Getty. Blaine Stephen Gipke. Kayla A. Gilchrist. Roger Gonzalez. Vinay Gorley. John Thomas Hale. Julius Bernard Hill. Benjamin Imbalo. Daniel B. Johnston. James Mitchell Jimenez. Lamar Alvin Jones. Shania Nicole Jones. Sharon Pecomi Camariapuza. Shahed Khan. Jennifer Wagner Kirksley. April Lee Koyman. Daniel Lee. Riley Daniel Larson. Sandra Hernandez Lee. Armando Jose Lopez. Edwin Buchanan Lyon. Kiran Mai Mamagala. Shannon Bree Mathis. Jeffrey Romales Midget Jr. Cameron Price Miller. Jericho Montalet Montalo. Christopher Alexander Mora. Brady Baxter Neal. Donald Eugene Prentice. Ann Wayland Rose. Abby Smith Nielsen. Niz Nur Ali Sadrudin. Sarah Ann Salas. Cesar Arturo Sanchez Gallardo. Cole Rutger Schreiner. Celia Patricia Sinclair. Tatsada Sethanafon. Taylor Nicole Silvstreet. Cassandra Joy Smith. Grant Neil Sprott. Jessica Dawn Stipe. Kaylee Thomas. Catherine Sun. Shakur Varma. Joy Nefertiti Walker. Sawati Amit Warki. Chelsea Lauren Wells. Jonathan Robert Willis. Amy Wong. That concludes the Cox School Master's Degree graduates. We will now greet the Bobby B. Lyles School of Engineering Master's Degree graduates. Kenneth Gregory Adams. Fikhi Aswa. Dalton Philip Bishop. Adam Bania. Johan Chari. Joel Hiram Chavez Veraski. Joel Anthony Collins. Ricardo Elizondo Clark. Raul Franco. Arvistek Gamire. Alexander Mark Gregory. Henry Howell. Justin Jacobson. Rashmi Jing. Amanda Jane Johnson. Kylie Aaron Jordan. Venkatesh Ramaha Carboni. Grant Matthews LaSalle. Mitchell Tyler Lamberth. Kevin Assel Maciel. Lourdes Maldonado Castaneda. Talia Marie Markowski. Reginald Clayton Miggins. Jonas Eduardo Morris. Dylan Michael Morris. Tong Win. Ethan Ulrey. Nicholas Javier Ortega. Ross Goodwin Peterson. Eduardo Rocha. Ruben Salinas Alvarez. Jonathan Michael Sanchez. Maria Paula Sanchez Rendon. Wyatt Bliss Saltzman. Marwa Manzer Sharab. William L. Sizemore. Hans Soland. Samuel Louis Timmons. Paola Michelle Verboon. Sergio Paul Verbunen. Nicholas Edward Wall. Soham Deepak Warde. Ujay E. Larry Jihong Yu. Nei Kant Zhao. Daniel Wayne Zock. Justin Lang Zhuag. Irvin Andres Lazaro. That concludes the Lyle School Master's Degree graduates. We will now greet the Annette Caldwell Simmons School of Education and Human Development graduates. Majil Alessandra Acosta Rivera. Rachel Adler. Catherine Elizabeth Anderson. Reagan Mackenzie Arnold. Cheyenne Asadi. Rachel Suzanne Barnes. Elizabeth Lynn Cox. Randall Blake. Kylie McClure Campbell. Ian James Fairley. Susan Cope. Dima El Qasim. Dima Fatima Izzat. Jeremy Daniel Jones. Devlin Elizabeth Hagan. Lena Ahmad Kamal. Lindsay Ivory. Marla Catherine Jones. Grace Isabel Kirchhoff. Zora Lassie. Lily Anna Longcar. Parisa Neran Mahmud. Jennifer Renee Martin. Natalie Martin. Madeline Mia McLemore. Mary Carolyn Mishat. Jennifer Ann Millimet. Carlos Enrique Mongrit Gonzalez. Zoe Lynn Pendergast. Catherine Lynn Nani. Felicia Patel. Madeline Adele Pearson. Molly Gilmore Rivas. Abby Christine Roberson. Sandra Elizabeth Romero. Jessica Sanchez Ruda. Alexis Santa Cruz. Taylor Qualls Schwartz. Edmund Steele Smith. Selena Marie Spinazzola. Madison Mackenzie Stoller. Caitlin Lane Tipsward. Alexandra Claire Wallace. This concludes the Simmons School Master's Degree and Certificate graduates. We will now greet the graduates for the Master of Science in Data Science in the Moody School of Graduate and Advanced Studies. Laura Alexandra Amuda. Kevin Nicholas Albright. Kevin A. Boyd. Zachary Ryan Bunn. Michael Joseph Gebhardt. David John George. John Gerard. Christopher Dean Hobb. Ryan A. Heron. Domisha Nemia Herring. Alexander Lopez. Rag Patel. Dewey Q. Wynn. Kendall Scott. Rosalind Smith. Luke Stodgel. Philip Traxler. Taven Robert Jasper Wida. Sadiq Aman. That concludes the graduates for the Master of Science in Data Science. We will now greet the Dedman College of Humanities Science Baccalaureate degree graduates. Kareem Khalid Abahani. Natalie Michelle Adams. Ahmed Kadar Ahmed. Dana Kadawa. Frank Vincenzo Aventino. Sierra Lamore Ball. Chelsea K. Barnes. Rodrigo Bizania de Villa. Jennifer Holmes Blossom. Annalise Spring. Andreas Clark Kamahort. Cameron Rose Chambers. Leah Michelle Chansey. Sarah Elizabeth Chandler. Alinja Marina Shocher. Kevin Jeffrey Collins. Peyton Beatrice Dersch. Xavier Jared Diaz. Megan Christian Dolan. Colin William Aspirin Duggan. Sophie Elisa Alice. Juan Pablo Esperano Lehman. Benjamin Trevor Feinstein. Nico Suarez Feldman. Brandon Robert Garcia. Bo Hinman Delfield Getz. Kennedy Simone Harrison. Claire Emily Jansen. Tiffany Angela Jones. Nicholas Todd Kale. Nicholas K. Kiriazis. Morgan Lee. Morgan B. Leith. Melissa Brooke Lenz. Luke Jordan Logan. Japan Lowe. Robert Emmett Lynch. Alexa Katie Marcus. Christina Rose Victoria Marsoshi. Luke Thornberry Martin. Denise Monserrat Martinez. Miguel R. Martinez. Matthew Frederick McDonald. Casey Richard McKean. Staten Michelle McCallum. Isabel Christina Mignoni. Evan Miles. Andrew John Minsker. Henry Mossberg. Malia Alexandria Nambo. Kauthar Awomi Alithon. Nicole Marie Navarro. Justin Lee Osborne. Natalie Dolores Perdue. Christopher Michael Pollock. Madison Pope. Jonathan Porter. Bryn Caroline Price. Rebecca Ann Ramos. Melissa Rivera. Thalen Paul McCree Robinson. Jennifer May Petrie Salazar. Beyonce Marie Salazar Brown. Brianna Caitlin Sibley. Sabrina Lorraine Seaman. Krithi Singapore. Jordan Delaney Stevenson. Kendall Renee Steben. Catherine Montgomery Taylor. Mackenzie Marie Thompson. Renisha Janae Trahan. Jacqueline Vasquez. Maxwell Timothy Whittier. Cedar Shea Wilson. Yang Shao. Hanson James Zazer. Dylan Zatinsky. This concludes the Dedman College Baccalaureate degree graduates. We will now greet the Meadows School of the Arts baccalaureate degree graduates, Sarah, Alice, and Gwina. Lauren Elizabeth Burke. Claire Josephine DeVoe. Benjamin Douglas Everett Sandoval. Roman Keeson Fidak. Artie Gormy. Savannah Lauren Jackson. Alexandra Arena Konchak. Bailey Angelita Meadows. Ashley Camille Owens. Diego H. Olson. Ishani Patel. Itzal Quintero Marmo Ramos. Daniel Song. Ana Maria Salazar. Lexi Elise Schmidt. Alexis Giovanna Scroggins. Claire Elizabeth Stevens. Caroline Emily Stonington. Manny Elise Tanner. Saksan Ting. Kimberly K. Volmer. Peter Clinton Warner. Alube Kaidan. That concludes the Meadows School master's degree and diploma graduates. We will now greet the Edwin L. Cox School of Business baccalaureate degree graduates. Lucas John Alrom. Ambrosio Barcenas. Alex Christopher Barber. And Manuel Abrao Berki. Alexander Stillman Brown. Abigail Grace Carter. Harvey Edgar Craspro. Michael Eric Siokan. John Porter Collette. Casey Scott Connor. Dylan Cordell. Cole Taylor Cohen. Estefania Diaz. Derek Wolf Dickerson. Cole Ethan Elkins. Alicia Corinne Foote. Matthew John Fanji. Benjamin Charles Gisket. Michael Amir Habib. Maxwell Robert Henry. Dylan Tyler Hoffman. Brewer Hal Hughes. Skylar Knock Wynn. Olivia Jaskula Dibka. Reese Laginus. Christian Thomas Lawn. Lafi Lee. Emma Catherine Lockaby. Dallas Lundman Mack. Izelda Christina Martinez. Nathan Wade McPherson. Matthew James Medina. Natalie Christine Owings. Daisha Jean Parks. Nishta Patel. Jacob Paul Scheibe. Alexa Meguina Tapia Gomez. Daniel Enrique Villegas. Anjali Yedaguri. Olivia Nicole Overby. Nikhil Jayesh Patel. Alexander Peters. Daniel Bennett Davis. Thomas D. Reedy. Noah Philip Stromberg. Juan Trin. Isaac Villarreal Garcia. Han Vo. Scarlett Wang. Justin Ryan Williams. That concludes the Cox School Baccalaureate degree graduates. We will now greet the Bobby B. Lyles School of Engineering Baccalaureate degree graduates. Sarah Zafar Al-Jazar. Rasik Amarali. Sanartan Martin Bishcook. Hannah Gabrielle Clark. Lauren Elizabeth DeVore. William Robert Goldberg. Cameron Todd Miller. Cassie Bertrand Billy Enzalase. Jackson Joseph Ritz. Safwan Majid. Nathaniel Sean McGurk. Regina Wynn. Garrett Richard Webb. John Landon Wood. Richard A. Wooten. That concludes the Lyles School Baccalaureate degree graduates. We will now greet the Annette Caldwell Simmons School of Education and Human Development Baccalaureate degree graduates. Sophia Anna Anchop. Terrell William Benton. Giovanni Javier Bourbon. Maxwell Lawrence Brandt. Jaquanis Quintana Burns Jr. Peyton Cole Pittman Doran. Ashton McIlwain Down. Owen Thomas Easley. William Edward Fitzgibbon V. Nathan J. Grossman. Nicholas Carl Heck. Kendra Grace Carricker. Madison Simone Levy. Benjamin Daniel Mandia. Allegra Bo Misiano. Jordan Jeffrey Odell. Nicholas Doyle Perry. Victoria Ramirez. Daniel Ryan Rosado. Mackenzie Lynn Rudin. Tatum Rose Ruthenberg. Gordon Schuster. Gabriella Francis White. That concludes the Simmons School Baccalaureate degree graduates and all degrees awarded today.
What a December commencement. My gosh, this is incredible. Wonderful. Trying to let everybody get back to their seats. So, and I have to tell you, standing up here as a woman, there were some incredible shoes. And I think we should also applaud that nobody tripped. They're incredible. Good job to all our incredible graduates. Now, you who have just graduated are now part of our alumni, and we have someone special to welcome you to this important community. Philip Wise, Chair of the SMU Alumni Board and SMU Trustee.
It's always a pleasure to go last. So, good morning. Congratulations to each of you and to your parents. As Provost LeBeau said, I'm Philip Wise. I am the proud chairman of the SMU Alumni Board. And on behalf of all of the 131,000 alumni, we welcome you graduating today to your next phase of your Mustang journey. The SMU alumni community is over 130,000, and we are all over the world. So no matter where you go and where you travel, you will always be part of your SMU alumni family. So as your journey today is ending as a student, your alumni journey is just beginning. So what does that mean? As SMU alumni, you have a new mission: to continue to shape each other as world changers and to continue to help shape the world changers that will come after us. We do this in 3 ways. First, as alumni, we stay connected. We have alumni networks all over the world. We host events in cities, Dallas. And this weekend's Turn Your Tassel event at the Reunion Tower is a great example. So we get together to network for career opportunities, to chair SMU athletics and SMU academics. We support our local communities, and we help recruit future alumni students as yourselves. Next, we stay informed. We check our news feeds for SMU News. We check our emails, sign up for alumni social media channels. And most importantly, we update the SMU Alumni Office as you change jobs, as you get married, as you move to new cities, so we can all stay connected. But last and not least, we, being invested into this community, we make a gift to SMU every year. Many of you started this tradition while you were in school during SMU Giving Day. Our collective annual commitments adds to help future Mustang students for their everyday needs. So, in conclusion, and on behalf of all the alumni of SMU all over the world, we welcome you as part of your new alumni family. Congratulations.
Now, to close, Dean McKee will deliver the benediction for us. And once he concludes, we'll hear the university hymn, Varsity. And as you all recall, as you listen to the hymn, this is an opportunity to reflect on your special memories of your time here on the hilltop. At the conclusion of Varsity, the platform party and the faculty will recess. And so please do stay standing until the faculty recessional has left the floor. And graduates, you will exit the floor following the directions of the marshals. Now, for everyone, if you can, please rise for the benediction and for Varsity.
Hear this blessing. Eternal God, today we gather to celebrate those who received degrees from Southern Methodist University. These persons represent many fields of study and interest and leave to go into the world as world changers who have been shaped at this university. In the coming days, these graduates will begin a new phase in their work or education, and they look forward toward a future that needs their wisdom, humility, and commitment to a common good. May they go, O God, with your blessing and with your divine guidance. And may we all remember these important words. Do all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, at all the times you can. Amen.